Hello. In this video, we will discuss Cisco email security and the mailbox auto remediation feature. A file can be marked malicious at any time, even after it has been delivered to an end recipient's mailbox. Mailbox auto remediation provides a Cisco email security administrator the ability to delete a message with an attachment from a recipient's mailbox in which the file verdict originally was marked clean and has changed to malicious. Once configured, Cisco email security can delete or forward a malicious message with attachment. Let's get started and see how this is configured. First, we need to review the prerequisites. Make sure that your Office 365 subscription includes Exchange and that you have the ability to log in and manage Microsoft Azure. You will also need to be able to run either OpenSSL or Windows PowerShell. And last, you'll need a certificate and a private key in order to complete the configuration. Using our prerequisites, we will create the following 4 values in order to initiate API communication between Cisco email security and Microsoft Office 365. Let's take a look at using OpenSSL to get started. Using OpenSSL, you'll need to run the commands as shown to build the base64 thumbprint, base64 value, and key ID. You will also need to combine your certificate and private key to build the needed .pem certificate file, which will be used later during the email security configuration. For ease of administration, from the tip link shown, you may download and use the custom script shown during the following example. The custom script shown uses the same OpenSSL commands provided to generate and complete the certificate, and automatically generates the key credentials section, which is used later in the Azure configuration. We will see where this is used in just a few minutes. You will need to copy and paste the key credentials section as shown in the output on screen. Also note the thumbprint value and the .pem certificate that will be needed are noted as well. For Windows users, if OpenSSL is not available, you can run Windows PowerShell to construct the needed values. Copy and paste the 10 commands provided directly into Windows PowerShell. These will generate the needed values for the base64 thumbprint, base64 value, and generate a key ID. Again, these values will be needed for the upcoming Azure configuration section. Please see the document noted from the on-screen tip for full details and assistance in generating the key credentials section. Next, we will need to log into portal.azure.com and create a new application, which will be our Office 365 API communication link. You can set the name of your application to any arbitrary value. The sign-on URL is an Azure requirement and can also be set to an arbitrary value as shown. Make sure that you see the 3 green acknowledgement checkmarks before continuing. Next, we'll be adding permissions. We're going to select Office 365 Exchange for the API. We will select the 3 values as shown for the application permissions, and finally the 4 values shown for the delegated permissions. Click Select to continue and then Done. Be sure to grant permissions for these new values within your API. Next, we will be using our key credentials values that we generated earlier to be used in the manifest. For our example, we're replacing line 18 with our own key credentials section that was pre-generated. Copy and paste this into the manifest as shown, clicking Save to complete. Our next step is to get the application ID, which is listed on the current screen. Copy this value to your notepad for the email security configuration section. Finally, we need to get the endpoint ID. Click Endpoints from the app registration screen. We will copy the first URL line listed. Our endpoints ID is embedded within this URL. Taking the value to our notepad, we will delete through the first / and then delete all characters after the second /. The application ID and endpoints ID is used later in our next section for the email security configuration. Once again, the key takeaways from the Azure configuration are the application ID, which is used for our client ID, and the endpoints ID, which is used for our tenant ID. Let's revisit our prerequisite values. So far for our example, we've constructed the 4 following values. With these, we're ready to go forward and configure Cisco email security. From the email security GUI, we will select System Administration and Mailbox Settings. Click Enable to allow configuration of this feature. Click the checkbox to enable Office 365 Mailbox Settings. We'll then copy and paste in the client ID. Copy and paste in our tenant ID. And finally, we'll copy over our thumbprint. Next, we'll browse and find our saved PEM certificate. Click Submit and then Commit Changes to save this configuration, adding in an administration note if you wish. With this committed, we're ready to check the connection we have just created. Enter in an email address that is managed by your Office 365 domain and click Test Connection. You should see a success message. Our last step is to review the incoming mail policy settings for AMP. From the policy level, view AMP and choose Mailbox Auto Remediation action you wish to have taken. If you make any changes to the configuration, please remember to submit and then commit the changes to your configuration. At this time, the configuration is complete. All Mailbox Auto Remediation reporting will be recorded. View this for Monitor and then Mailbox Auto Remediation. On the reporting page, you will see any SHA, file name, and actions completed successfully for the associated recipients, or recipients the action was not successful for.